Duduzile Zomasambola insists she's not the architect of a purported mercenary pipeline to Russia, but rather its first unsuspecting victim, a claim she was now placed on record under oath. In a sworn affidavit filed at the Sandton police station on Monday, the Member of Parliament paints a picture starkly different from the explosive allegations made by her sister Nkosazana Zuma Mncube over the weekend. Zuma Mncube had accused her sibling and two others of trafficking 17 men into fighting for Russian mercenaries, alleging the recruits were told they were traveling for bodyguard training for the Umkhonto weSizwe Party. The South African government confirmed it has been contacted by 17 citizens who believe they were misled into joining mercenary forces amid the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. The men, aged between 20 and 39, reportedly signed up after being promised high-paying contracts. In her affidavit, Zomasambola describes herself as blindsided, manipulated, and a victim of deception, misrepresentation, and manipulation. She places the blame squarely on a man she identifies as Blessing Rulani Khoza, whom she says approached her out of the blue via WhatsApp. She claims she had never interacted with or heard of him before, and said prior to this unsolicited message, I had no relationship, acquaintance, or prior knowledge of this person whatsoever. According to her version, Khoza presented himself as a South African living in Russia with access to what he allegedly described as a legal civilian paramilitary training program. He repeatedly assured her, she says, that the course was safe, structured, skills-based, and entirely above board. Convinced by Khoza's assurances, Zomasambola says she traveled to Russia at her own expense and completed a month-long program she now considers surface-level training, and said I experienced only non-combat, controlled activities. I was never exposed to combat, never deployed. Duduzile Zomasambola maintains that because her own experience appeared legitimate, she had no reason to suspect wrongdoing. When she later shared details of the program with relatives and close family friends, and said I shared information innocently, they chose to join on their voluntary interest, adding that several of her own family members traveled to Russia, something she says proves she had no knowledge of any danger, and said I would not, under any circumstances, knowingly expose my own family or any other person to harm. A total of 22 South Africans eventually made the trip. 3 failed medical assessment and returned home, while 19 remained in Russia. Zomasambola writes that she was devastated when she later learned that the group had allegedly been taken closer to a conflict zone, and that this discovery caused me profound shock and distress. It was at this point that I realized that both I and others had been scammed. She claims she immediately flew back to Russia for 2 weeks in a bid to assist the group, lodging appeals with Russian officials and seeking intervention through the South African embassy, and that my actions were taken urgently at personal cost and solely out of concern for the safety of the affected South Africans. Zomasambola concludes her affidavit by vehemently rejecting her sister's allegations, and said I was not a recruiter, agent, operator, or facilitator of any unlawful activity, emphasizing that she has handed over devices, documents, and communications for the forensic scrutiny and is cooperating fully with investigators. As authorities probe what happened, her affidavit shifts the narrative from alleged orchestrated recruitment to a possible case of widespread deception, one that now stretches from South Africa to Russia and back again. Meanwhile, the Ukraine's ambassador to South Africa, Alexander Schuber, says prominent South Africans were involved in luring a group of South Africans who are now fighting in Ukraine on behalf of Russia. The Mercury reported on Monday that the South African Police Service has confirmed that the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, also known as the Hawks, is investigating a case opened against Duduzile Zomasambola of allegations that she was involved in facilitating the recruitment of 17 South Africans who traveled to Russia. The case was opened by former President Jacob Zuma's eldest daughter, Nkosazana Bunganini Zuma Mncube, against her sister, Duduzile Zuma Sambudla. The matter is now being probed by the Hawks, and the docket has been handed over to Crime Against the State, CAT's component, for further investigation. Speaking to broadcaster Newsroom Africa, Shuba said he verified the information and found that there were no South Africans fighting on his country's side, and said these people were led under the participation of some South African prominent people against the law in South Africa to fight in this war of aggression against Ukraine. It is highly regrettable, and I am in touch with one of the families. I wrote an email and said, let us figure it out. I said, it is highly regrettable for me as ambassador of Ukraine that your family members decided to fight in this war against my country. But I feel your pain, and let us try to figure it out and make sure that no such events will occur in the future. Shuba said the South African family has not responded to him. National spokesperson Brigadier Glenda Matse told the media that I can confirm that Zuma Mncube had presented herself to the Sandton police station, where she urged the state to investigate 3 individuals whom she accused of luring 17 South African men to Russia under false pretenses. She made allegations that these men are trapped in Ukraine and said, I can confirm that an inquiry docket has been registered, the matter has been escalated to provincial level, and I am now told by General Masemula that the matter will be handed over to the Hawks for further investigation. The Hawks will investigate the allegations. For now, we have determined the charges. We are still investigating. As soon as we complete the preliminary investigation, we will know what charges we are investigating against these individuals. Meanwhile, a relative of one of the victims trapped in Russia spoke to Dr. Mboiseni Ndlozi on 98.7 FM, expressing their distress. During this interview, they claimed that 2 of the affected individuals, reportedly from Botswana, have allegedly died.
But this was a very rushed trip. I think there was about 2 weeks notice before the trip, which obviously was a shock to the family, to everyone, because it was said it's a year program, you know. I know most of the information in the media, it said that they were going for bodyguard training, which is false, because I think 70% of them are highly qualified bodyguards who have extensive experience, and some of them have been guards for a lot of prominent people in this country. So the training was not for bodyguards. They were told that this is a special forces program that will elevate them where they are, and they're going to be put in government and in the defense force. So like a special task team. That's how it was explained. So it was like a 2 weeks notice, and to be 100% honest, the only reason I think 90% of them are there because of family, because they are related to the Zuma family. So is my partner. He is also family. So this came from their sister Duduzile. It came from Umam Sipogazi, Uma, who is. We know her as a partner. I say a partner. I don't want to be disrespectful and say wife, but we know her and trusted her because she's a partner. Gababa umama sekai, you know. Gababa umsholot. Yes. So she is one of his wives. Hence, I'm correcting myself by wife, because I'll say wife and they'll say she's not married. So, but umama Gabab Zuma. Everything was so quick. It was rushed. Paperwork was so quick. I started questioning a lot of things. I started doing a lot of research because a lot of things did not make sense to me beforehand. So I started questioning a lot of things. Even on the day they left, 90% of the trips still did not make sense to me. In terms of when were visas applied for, you have no paperwork. You have, when were all these things done? So that was my problem. And true to call, I was correct. We were forced to sign contracts that are written in Russian. We demanded a translator. They refused. Dudu Zile physically came. So it means she physically came because they say she came a day after to come and force them to sign those contracts. With no translation. One of the boys luckily managed to shoot, I don't know how, the contract, send it to one of the parents, and that's when they realized they had just signed themselves up to Russia. Are you signing your life away? You have no guarantee of coming back. That's what the contract said. They received a stipend. I apologize, I don't remember the amount, but the very same stipends they received, Dudu Zile and Mamsi Pokazi demanded they transfer those monies back to them. They said they're charging them to pay for their flights, to pay for their accommodation, and they are going to purchase flight tickets for the next group that's coming. So there were more groups coming.
What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.